Okay, so look, I know this has been a subject of intense media speculation for about a week or so now, but I'm very pleased to announce today that Ken has accepted an offer to extend his coaching career with Port Adelaide for an additional 3 years. So Ken is contracted for season 2018, and so this extension, 3-year extension, goes out to beyond 2021, season 2021. Now, I know that we all live in the moment, and that's important, but I thought it might be just an opportunity just to reflect a little bit on what Ken has delivered to the Port Adelaide Football Club in the 5 years that he's been with us already. If you just think back, Ken arrived at the end of 2012. We just had 2 years, 16th and 14th. We'd lost our coach, our president, virtually our whole board. We'd lost John McCarthy in a player tragedy at the end of that year, and Ken in 2013 was able to get us into the finals. We won a final, took us to Adelaide Oval in 2014. We had that exhilarating finals campaign which ended in a prelim final against Hawthorn. We had a couple of flat years in 15 and 16 where we probably just failed to meet our own expectations. Shook ourselves off. Kenny then went about restructuring and redesigning the coaching program for 2017. I'm very proud of the work that he and Chris Davies and Matthew Nix did in that process. Got us back into the finals. We won 14 games. We were able to, as a club, win on the road. We won in Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, Ballarat, Shanghai. All really important indicators, I think, about where a football program is at. We also, probably most importantly, introduced a stack of highly talented young players. I think we might have gone into the finals series as the youngest team in the finals. Players like Howard, Powell Pepper, Marshall, Burne-Jones, Bonner, all of these boys, Houston, all of these boys played in the finals. So we think that we've established a very, very powerful platform for the future. Ken is a highly experienced and skilled coach. I think everyone knows that. He's a man of great character, and he's an outstanding leader of our club. And we're just absolutely thrilled that he and Donna and his family have agreed and happily agreed to extend his time with us and continue this climb that we're on, which we think is very, very exciting. So, I don't know, Ken, if you want to say a couple of words or if we'll just go straight to questions.
Straight to some questions. I've said a bit.
Okay.
Congratulations, Ken. A relief? What's the overwhelming feeling?
Yeah, I think some relief because of the last week. There's no doubt about that. It's been pretty tiring for everyone involved. Family, Port Adelaide, myself, the whole thing, it becomes a little bit taxing. But just so pleased to be still part of this club and this group of players. That's, I've always said, what we have going is unbelievable as a group between coaches and players and football club. I needed to keep that going.
Did it take some bridge mending to get to this point, Ken?
In what way?
Between, say, you and David after how volatile the last week seemed to be?
No, not at all. I mean, things to remember about that is that we do have good conversations. If you sit back and think all those conversations are easy, and you're not going to achieve anything and you're not going to get anywhere. I mean, I think that's a great thing about what we do. We're prepared to have those challenges. We're prepared to face them. And yeah, sometimes you'd like not to deal with some of them, but overall, our intent, Keith, David, myself, has always been the same. That is to make Port Adelaide great.
Ken, have you come to a new understanding with David, hearing Alistair Clarkson last night say his issues with Jeff Kennett were resolved once Jeff understood that he had to say things first to them, so they had a heads up on what his president's words were? Have you had that discussion with David that he gives you a heads up on what he's going to say from now on?
Oh no, we certainly have. Again, Rich, we've had plenty of conversations about the way we like to operate, and the thing is that we stay on the same page, and I think that's really important. And once we're on that page, I've got no problems. But again, there's got to be challenging conversations always going on. It's just a matter of putting them in the right environment at the right time.
Have you been off the same page this year at times?
No, we haven't. No, and that's an easy assumption to make based on a little bit of noise that's happened in the last little bit. But they've been, as I said, the conversations have all been. Start of the year, if I go back, let's just go back. Start of the year, we wanted to play finals. Everyone in this football club wanted to play finals. At the end of the year, we were all emotional, we were all disappointed, and we were all gutted. Everyone was. David, players, CEO, coach, the rest of the coaching staff, members, support, the whole thing. That's what happens.
So, given all that, as you said on radio last night, even for 0.1 of a second, had to consider Gold Coast. Why was that? Was that more of a lifestyle thing, or what was that?
Yeah, certainly. As I said, it's flattering that some other club perhaps have an inquiry about what might you want to do. But importantly for me, it's about the energy to stay committed to the group and with my family and the playing group to make sure that we are still the right fit. I said last night, I think the key thing I said is the first thing I do is I review me and see where I'm at and where I need to be. And once I'm confirmed that that's okay, and my commitment to this group was always where it should be, and that is to do everything I can to make them as good as they possibly can, it was an easier decision.
Is it harder being in this environment compared to the Gold Coast, that fishbowl existence?
Yeah, well, I couldn't sit here and lie about that. I mean, having experienced both, it's a different environment, there's no doubt about that, but passionate footy state. It can be challenging at times, but it's one that we love being a part of, and I'm not running away from any of that stuff. I'm quite happy to embrace it all.
Ken, 4 more years. What's the goal for you? You're very ambitious. Is it to take Port to the promised land in that time?
Yeah, Tom, if I sat here and said I'm not trying to win a premiership, I'd be foolish. I think Keith would ask me to leave if that's what I wasn't thinking. That's what I'm thinking. We've created a slight adjustment to our direction in the last little bit. I think we've got, as we said, we made mention, we're quite young on the field now. We've got lots to learn. I've said all through this year we changed a lot in our program. Our football game style changed a lot. We're still getting better at that. If we hadn't have lost in a heartbreaking extra time final and we played last weekend, and who knows what may have happened or might not have happened, I think everyone would have accepted this year as a pretty strong success, albeit we didn't get to where we want to go, because where we want to go is the top. And until we get there, we won't be happy.
Can this list win a premiership, or do you need to make changes to it?
Oh no, absolutely. No, there's no doubt that when you finish a game and a half off top of the ladder, that gives you every opportunity to win. But you do still need luck. Don't lose sight of that. You do need luck. I mean, we had a great run this year. We had a great injury run. All those things are in our favour. We've got to replicate them again next year and get better and improve our own football ability. There's no doubt about that. But every list also continues to get better, because the AFL, you have to make change. You look to improve your list. Jason and Jeff Parker are now making our list stronger for next year.
Keith, what did the Gold Coast moment do for the way you handled this?
Yeah, look, I think I was quoted a little while ago as not feeling any great urgency, to be honest. We understood the Gold Coast situation really early on. I got whiff of the fact that they, clearly they were in the market for a coach, and I understood that they had, it was being reported that they were thinking about Ken. So I made contact with Mark Evans straight away, and I just reminded Mark that that Ken was contracted for 2018, and that I would expect that if any contact was intended, that he would talk to us. He wrote back straight away and said, "Look, I understand that. I put a call into Ken's manager, but if everything's right with you and Ken and you're going forward, we'll just stay out of it until that's resolved." Mark's we have a great relationship with Mark. He's a good guy. I knew that's the way he would play it. So really, my focus was on the discussion with Ken, and what does that look like? And whilst I know there was an enormous amount of noise around Gold Coast, I think largely it was just speculation. I knew exactly what their position would be and how they would play it, and that was fine.
So you never worried what happened on Saturday then? What Saturday was all about? How did that all come to be? What was the intent of Saturday? Well,
I think that because of the speculation and the intensity of all of the media, it did accelerate the process, I think, because you don't want to be in the newspaper or in the media without a position. That's the reality. And the longer it goes on, the more the stories build, and whether they're factual or not. So we really just decided that we needed to get the key people together, and Ken and Donna and Chris and myself and David, and really just say, okay, well, what does the next 4 years look like? How are you feeling about that? How's the club feeling about it? Do we have the energy? Do we have the enthusiasm? Do we think we can still be effective? All those sort of questions that we had been sort of discussing, brought it together, and left feeling much clearer about what we're going to do.
But before you could actually move on about what the next 4 years were about, did you have to deal with what had come as a fallout of the elimination final with the remarks that have been made by David?
Yeah, look, I'm glad I haven't commented on this at all, and Ken and David have been speaking about it, but I think it's really important to understand that David is a big national personality. We all understand that. He is a very obliging media performer in that he makes himself available, and overwhelmingly that has been an enormous positive for our club, and there's great benefits associated with that. Part of that reality is that there are moments where you get yourself into a space which you don't enjoy as much, and none of us enjoyed all of the narrative that came out of the final, and I think we will all accept that. Whether it was factual, whether it was taken out of context, whether it was a soundbite, it doesn't really matter. There was several days or a week or so of noise. So we spoke about that, and we've, as Ken said, we have grown up discussions, and we deal with it, and we know it's temporary. Those things are temporary. The things that are long lasting are the relationships, the vision that we have for the club, and what we want to do with it. And I think that they're the important matters. And so to be able to sit here today, having knowing that Ken is committed to the club for 4 years from now, with a plan that we believe in, we feel like that's pretty positive stuff.
So Keith, this wasn't David speaking of Sunrise as David Koch, the Sunrise TV host. This was David Koch, the AFL club chairman, speaking to his club supporters at a supporters function. So wouldn't it been a similar situation for any AFL club chairman speaking to the fans? Like his position on Sunrise, sorry, that's not relevant at all in this situation, is it?
Well, let me put some context. I'm the CEO of the club, and for 20 weeks of the year, I run that same meeting to the members, and it's never been reported, right? So now that says something about me, and it also says something about him. I think there is a disproportionate level of attention that he attracts, and that is fantastic for our club and its national profile. That's what I would say.
But if there was, like for example, if there was vision of yourself criticising Ken's game plan and saying you should have picked, more experienced team, I'm sure that would have made the same amount of headlines.
Yeah, I think we've discussed all of that.
I think that's a tough comment about David, because the comment about the jury being out on youth, I think that's just him saying, you know what, we will see that over a course of time. Don't mark it today. That's what he was saying, and that's why I think we take that as, he's questioning the coach. I certainly didn't take it that way. I took it as, you know what, he believes that this young group we put out there has got enough talent to take us further. And that's when he's saying to you, all the people who are listening, wait and see. Have some patience. Don't judge it tonight, because it was bloody amazing what they did tonight, where they gave everything they had in that game, but they came up a little bit short.
Ken, you're very loyal to your players. You're very passionate about them, but have you got to a point where one of your favourites over the last 7 or 8 years you've almost considered he's probably going to move on, Jackson.
Yeah, as I spoke last night, free agency, it is part of the industry that we work in now. Jackson's got to do the thing that's right for his family. I'm the first to say that to any of my players. You've got to look after your family first, as I do. And it'd be wrong of me to challenge him in any other way. Hopefully, from Jackson's point of view, he has enough space and daylight to look through all those options, and he comes up with the decision that's right for him. We would like that to still be a part of Port Adelaide. If it's not, we'll wish him all the absolute best.
And I'm sure you're looking towards the trade period, draft, etc. Will you be fairly aggressive in the trade period, you think, or more to the draft?
We'll be trying to improve our list, as I said earlier on. That's Jason and Jeff's job, is to improve our list from now. Whatever those opportunities are, I can assure you I'm in on those conversations. I'm not a coach that doesn't have those conversations, but we expect to improve our list.
Last couple of questions, guys.
Considering any of your assistants, such as Matthew Mix, are they your top job?
Oh, look, I've got outstanding people that work with me. I'm so lucky. That's one of the things that Keith and David have been able to provide, this great football program, and I've got a lot of high-quality people there without individualising or singling out any of those people. They are high-quality people.
Did you leave here on Friday still wanting to be the Port Adelaide coach?
Did I leave here on Friday? Yeah, no, I did, Rich. How can you walk away from a group that you build and you've been a part of? I walked in this door with a young Ollie Wines. I last year had been involved with a young Pal Pepper, a Todd Marshall, a Joe Atley type players come in. If you know me, leaving that behind's nearly impossible.
What did you do when you found out the Gold Coast had contacted your manager? What were your thoughts then?
It's just to double check. It's like the review of the season. Double check with myself and the family. Where am I at with this? Can I continue on? Am I the right person? And to be the right person, you have to have an enormous amount of energy. And that's the question I have to be sure on myself. And I have that amount of energy, and I am the right person again.
Ken talks of you wanting or asking to leave or opt out of the final year of the contract. Was that completely fabricated? Yeah,
no, there was the discussions were going on in my own mind about, again, was it right? Did I have the energy to do what I needed to do? And I certainly do. There's no problems about that. But there were some moments where gee, what should I and what shouldn't I do for the best of the Port Adelaide Football Club? And that's where my intentions are always with. And it was clear to me that the best was for me to stay as the coach.
I think one of the things that Ken and I agree on is the power of continuity, but you also have to check yourself against the comfort of continuity. It's a very, very important line you've got to draw in a high-performance environment. And so I think that the questioning from both parties was really healthy and important. Just as important as the decision Ken's come to, and certainly we came to very quickly, that no, we've got the energy all right, and the enthusiasm to keep going here and make something happen.
So on that, Keith, with
last one, Rich.
Comfort, there'll be those who say maybe you should wait until the contract ended next year. So how do you respond to those who?
Yeah, well,
like Collingwood did, like others have.
Yeah, I go back to a comment I made when I first started in this job. You've got to know what you're looking at. And I remember walking in 2011-12, and everyone was talking about how poor the list was. Got to get rid of the list managers, got to get rid of the recruiters, players are no good. And Ken Hinkley came in with a program and took us to a final in the first year. And we didn't make a single change to any of that structure. You've got to know what you're looking at. If you look at at what goes behind the scoreboard says we lost the first final and came 7th or 8th, whatever it is. But if you look behind that, at the building blocks that have been put in place, the coaching structure, the methodology, the change to the game plan, the young players, and the results that were achieved, I think we've made remarkable progress. And I am very confident about the platform that we've set.